What's going on, guys? It's Bilo coming back again with the new Archetype Plini Neural DSP Standalone app, plugin, whatever, right? This is something that came out earlier this week, and they're offering a 14-day trial, and that's where I'm at right now with a 14-day trial. And there's tons of videos out there with really awesome guitarists that are featuring all the features of this app. But I'm just going to kind of jump on here and show you some of the things that I'm doing with it, and hopefully, you'll see that it's pretty awesome and versatile is the main thing, right? So, this is a prog machine, so you're going to get everything from metally, rocky, gentish, highly saturated, well-defined, and then crystal clean, and then broken up, and kind of all these different tones in the middle. So, it's all here, and I'm using a Apollo Arrow, right? I'm sorry, a Universal Audio Arrow, the Thunderbolt item, and I'm plugging my guitar straight into that using trusty cable, and then I've got a couple of preamp things running on my Arrow, right? So, I'm not exactly the most astute engineer or something along those lines, and so I kind of just tweaked some of these things in the Universal Audio Arrow to kind of get a nicely warmed up and crystal clearly defined but still kind of crunchy type of tone. And so this is basically like a clean tone that I'm running with right now. We're in the next position of this Strandberg Salen Limited Deluxe. Yeah, and that's with all these, Universal Audio plugins, inserted into the thing. And to be perfectly honest, I don't even know if I'm using this correctly, the Universal Audio. It's like way above my understanding, but let's turn them off. Let's do this is what it sounds like with these things on. Let's turn them all off, and then that way you can get a feel for what exactly this Arrow is doing to the plugin. Now that's just the guitar into the thing with all my shit turned off, so... Yeah, so the Arrow is doing quite a bit of heavy lifting up front by design. I really love how that polishes and creates my tone. So with that being said, keep that in mind that your mileage may vary, because if you're not using the Universal Audio fun stuff that I'm using here, the tones that you get may not be what I get. And I'm being upfront and honest with you. There isn't no post or anything like that on here. This is just me, a microphone, my guitar plugged into a Focusrite, and the Universal Audio Thunderbolt Arrow. So with all that being said, I really love the clean amp on this suite, right? Because I feel like it's very open and dynamic and very... just present is the best way to say it. And so let's contrast those tones now with this crunched amp. Pretty good tone there. Really enjoying it. Incidentally, got a little bit of the gain up, right? Because I'm running single coils and I'm pretty close to a screen here. But let's take a look at the pedal. So a little bit of compressor. Most everybody's running high compression when they're using this app. I use light compression. Like I said, this app can do everything, including like all the metal stuff, but we're not really here for that. I mean, there's plenty of people doing that, and it's cool. Let me dial up that gate a little bit. So here's like a really strong version of my clean toned amp. And as you can tell, it's got a lot of gain, man. I mean, it's got a lot of balls to it for a clean amp. I tell you what, I got this earlier this week like everybody else as soon as the thing came out, like the next day. And I haven't turned my Kemper on or messed with any of my other stuff at all. I've just been hanging out with this standalone app and have been enjoying the hell out of this. And the only thing I would say as a design note is make an iPad app version of this. Yeah, for sure. Because there exist iPad you know, like user audio interfaces, right? Audio interfaces exist as for iPad standalone status. And so I think, you know, like this software suite on an iPad would really kill. All I have to do is take my guitar and my iPad in its guitar gig bag, and I go straight to a gig and run audio out. It'd be totally awesome. So you saw the amps, you know, the crunch and the light one, and here's the dark one, the really big amp, right? Yeah, it's a little big, you know, to say the least. I really haven't spent much time with this thing, so we'll see how it goes. That's surprisingly not bad at all. The gate's catching for sure. Let me turn that gate up a little higher. Yeah, I wish there was more controls for that gate, like an attack speed or something like that. So that's why I haven't really used the gain amp too much, because I run single coils and it just kind of sounds, I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much, you know, some of the settings that I'm hanging out with, doing what I'm doing with. And if you know me, I pretty much just do jam tracks online, that kind of thing. And I just kind of sit here and do this, right? Like I really just kind of do this. I mean, this is how I get down. I use a cleanish sounding amp with a little bit of breakup. Yeah, that's good. I can do that. And then here's your, you know, the thing that everybody is really happy about with this suite is the reverb and delay settings, right? So I've got mine set pretty basic. But because I'm going to be doing a jam track here in just a second, I'm going to add a little bit more wet than I normally would. Yeah. And one of the tricks I like to do is pump the wet on the delay. Yeah, there we go. I'm happy with that. Yeah, that's where I'm hanging out right there. So let's go straight to a jam track here shortly and see what we got going on. Just checking my statuses over here. All right, everything looks good. We're happy. So I'm basically rocking on and I feel like this amp in the clean setting, right? Let's take a look at my settings once again. Really does a good job of actually just getting you there, right? And there's plenty of reverb and delay, plenty of speaker option and EQ fun stuff, and then the drive pedal, right? So I'm running things kind of mellow. It's not like super hair, and it's not like, you know, metal, right? It's just kind of grindy. So let's hang out with this soulful chill groove guitar backing track jam in A minor. Elevated jam tracks once again to save the day. This was posted on February 26th. Yeah, there we go. What do you think? Okay. Yeah. out some gain. So yeah, that was about 4-ish minutes of getting down. Let's switch guitars. So that's been this Strandberg Salen Limited Deluxe. You know, one of only 15 made. And you know that because it's got the Strandberg route right there. Really awesome guitar. It's got that roasted maple neck on the back. And the Pal Faro fingerboard up front. Lumen lays, just an incredible machine with the graphite pieces in there for the 5-piece neck or 3-piece, depending if you're counting those graphite pieces or those carbon fiber pieces. Pretty awesome guitar, man. Really, really, really good guitar. It's like my favorite guitar I've ever owned, and we were having a tornado warning just actually a couple of nights ago, and it became, you know, very hazardous. You know, the news and the weather channel was freaking out. You know, everybody was like, "Oh my God, take shelter." We got, you know, tennis ball size hail coming through, right? That kind of thing. And I shit you not, man. Like I literally prepared my tornado shelter and took these two Strandbergs and my Kemper in there. Literally, like I'm gonna be in tornado shelter with my family and my cats. You know, my wife, my cats, and a couple of things that she wants to save. And the Strandbergs. The Strandbergs are staying with me. You know what I mean? These are like the best guitars in the world. So here we go. We're in the 2018. 2018 Strandberg Classic, original classic actually, with the Sonic Blue status going on. Really awesome guitar. I want to get probably a Perloid pickguard, just like on the limited deluxe over here, Boden. So. I've had this guitar for about 3 weeks-ish, maybe 4 weeks, and it's become my baby. I knew I was going to love the Trem, and I actually did some modification to it. I put some little bars in there to keep the trem from going too far back, right? And it helps it stay in tune. So yeah, hanging out with this Neural DSP app. We switched guitars. Let's drop the gain. And I kind of want to stick with this clean amp. This clean amp is really kind of where it's at. I saw another video from another user earlier today when I went to go take my wife lunch. And the guy was saying, you know, what am I using for my gain, my lead tone? The clean amp. And I'm totally with you. I mean, from day one when I got this app, it's been the clean amp for me. So I'm totally with you on that. Rock on. Throw that bright switch up there. And let's get rocking. So let's just continue with the jam trick. We got another 6 minutes to go on it, about 5.5 minutes. Let's keep going. With the bright on, it's a little too bright. Let's turn that down. That number 4 position, the in between, I don't like it. Middle position. A little too quiet. Here's the second position. These two right here. Pretty good whenever you turn it down a little bit, the reverb and the delay. yeah, man, that's the end of the jam track right there. Lots of fun. I really enjoy, like, since I've gotten this app and I've started, really taking a deep dive into the app. I've spent a lot of time kind of just playing over these silly jam tracks, and I've gone through every key several times. I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed the whole the groove, man. And it's like, is it a real amp? No. Is it a profiled amp? I don't know. It's a standalone app, and it works very, very well. It gives me the tone that I want. And like I said, I'm just kind of hanging out on this clean amp, man. It looks really nice, but let's kind of hang out on this dirty amp for just a minute. This is like the crunch amp. Let's compare it to the clean. I feel like the clean one's a little bit more present, but the crunchy one sounds equally nice. So, what do you have to run this? Okay, I was asked this question on a Strandberg group earlier. I'm using currently, like I said, a Universal Audio Arrow, right? So that's the Thunderbolt interface. Totally awesome interface. And the only reason I'm using that is because it has the Universal Audio plug-in insert things, right? And so I get the preamp, the de-esser, the compressor, the limiter, all that stuff, right? And it just sounds really good. It sounds really, really, really good. But, if you don't know what you're doing and you're just kind of starting to learn this stuff, because I still don't know what I'm doing with that Universal Audio thing. I just kind of tweaked some knobs and just kind of went with it, and I'm happy with where I'm at right now. I really don't know the back curtain science behind all of that. So I'm kind of feeling my way through that app. The software hardware interface, that is. But I will say, if you're just kind of trying to get into this, right, and you're happy with how the Archetype sounds from all the demos out there, and you really don't know what the hell you're doing, you're just a guitarist, you're like Marty Friedman, all you want to do is play guitar, you don't know anything about hardware, I will say, go get a Focusrite Scarlett Solo or 2i2 interface. They're like $150 new. And, you can use Guitar Center coupons this week because it's Easter and get it for a lot cheaper. Or, like I told the one guy on the Strandberg group, if you just go to the Facebook Marketplace thing, right? And, I'll do that right now, right? So I'm in Facebook, right? Here we are. And I'll type in the market thing, right? The Marketplace on Facebook. I'll just type in Scarlett, right, or Focusrite. Boom. Here we go. Focusrite interfaces here where I live, which is Frisco, Texas, which is north of Dallas a little bit, like 20, 30 miles north. And there's interfaces all over, and you can get them really cheap right now. And you might be able to haggle the guy. Like this one's $70. I recommend that, right? Focusrite Scarlett Solo, $70 in San Marcos, Texas. Now that's about a couple 100 miles away from me, right? But what I'm saying is, if you're just now getting into this world of interfaces and plugins and the whole Neural DSP thing, you've heard all their stuff and you like it, just get you a Scarlett and plug it in through the USB, plug your guitar into there, figure that out. If you have any questions, ask me. I'll help you set that up. And then go to town, man, right? It's really awesome. I really, really, really enjoy this. This is probably the most fun I've had on guitar since I got the Kemper and the Helix. Since I got the Helix, and then I got over the Helix, and then I got the Kemper, then I kind of got over the Kemper, then I started buying all these pedals for it, and I started having more fun with the Kemper, and then, like, last week, like the week before this whole Plini Archetype thing came out, I stopped using all my pedals on my Kemper. No shit. Like, I literally just ran the Kemper, including not using the cab sim thing, that little trick that I've been doing using the 2 notes torpedo thing. I've been using just straight profiles on the Kemper, guitar, into the Kemper, out, nothing changed, no modification, just enjoying profiles as they are. And I really kind of enjoyed that, right? But then, like Tuesday or Wednesday comes along and this Archetype Plini thing comes out, and I'm like, whoa. And it's just so easy, right? It's like right here. I got a mouse, I got my mouse. I'm just doing my mouse thing, sitting on the couch. I got my interface. I got all my plugins set up. It's like everything I want is right here on this computer that I'm using, and it's so handy. It integrates seamlessly with my audio groove from my jam tracks on YouTube thing going on, and even as I'm recording this right now, like I don't have to deal with a Kemper and all this stuff. I don't have to deal with like pedals and knobs and switches. All I got to do is like turn it on and go, right? Turn on my microphone, turn on my camera, and make sure all my patch cables are legit, right? Because a recording rig is pretty in depth, right? So, anyways, just wanted to jump on here, man, and just show you guys how I'm getting down with the Neural Archetype Plini interface, whatever the hell you want to call it, plugin standalone. And I didn't even mess with like the speaker stuff, right? I haven't even messed with any of that. I don't need to, right? Like it's already a badass tone. It's like I don't need to mess with IRs. I don't need to mess with mic position, although it's all there, right? All these mics, 2 mics, like stereo panning and all these options are totally there for you. And then you can load your own IRs. I ain't even done that, man. I'm just using the app as it stands, and the only thing I'm modifying is my inbound signal before we get to the app with the universal arrow plugins. And those 2 things, like this app and the universal arrow, it's like, wow, that's totally legit, man. Like if I was a professional musician and I had to play shows and stuff like that, I would ask for hotkey settings for this app. I would want hotkeys, like if I hit the F key or something like that, it switches over to like a delay. If I hit the A key, it switches over to a clean tone. Something like that. That's the only thing I could ask for. And then like iPad support. Other than that, man, if we're just hanging out on the couch and drinking a cold beer and jamming some jam tracks in any key, this is the way to go. Totally awesome, man. Totally awesome. So anyways, like I said, I got the trial, and I think I'm probably going to buy this. I think it's $138 to buy the actual app itself. Let's go to store. Here we go. So $135 for this thing when you buy it. I like it. I totally love it. I'm like totally in love with this thing, man. It's like so badass. And if you don't believe me, or if you think I'm tripping or something like that, man, let's go get you the trial. Get the trial right here. Boom. Zero. Costs 0 money to get this trial. Plug it in. Start dinking around. And call me. Tell me what you think. Anyways, that's been this video, man. It's been hanging out with Strandbergs, the Boden, and the Salen, rocking this software, and just going to town, man. I can't get enough of it. I wish there was more hours in a day so I could just play this. Unfortunately, I got to do real life here in a sec. So you guys rock on. Catch y'all next time. Thanks for watching.